So I'm going to attempt to make a rigid brace for my Jeep Wrangler hardtop. Right now I'm using toe straps to pull it on and off, but it's a little unstable when I'm doing it. It tilts back and forth and spins and everything. So I'm going to try and make a rigid ridgeback setup from everything I have here. These tubes and this connector I got from a company called Easy Tube. They do sell this tubing at Home Depot and any box stores, but I could not find a T connector anywhere except for this company called Easy Tube. I did buy this not realizing it was a composite material. So to strengthen it, I'm going to use some of this bar stock that I bought. I'll bend some angles and use these 1/4 screws to fasten everything together. I have some U-bolts that I'm going to cut, which are 5/16 by 2 by 5. These are going to hook on 3 points to lift the top. Then I have some 3/8 fuel hose. I will try to push around this U-bolt to protect the top. And then finally a hook, a 300-pound rated hook to lift everything. Okay, let's see how this goes. So here's what I have come up with so far. Here's the 3 bars that I've cut down to size. The 2 shorter ones are 32 inches long, and I drilled a hole all the way through at about 30 inches. The longer one is 45 inches, and I drilled a hole. I left about an inch worth of bar hanging over on that one. I cut the 2 brackets down to more of an L. I did have to get one size bigger on these than planned. The other one was too small. So these are 3/8 by 3 by 7. This is the one for the back. I slid some fuel hose over it. Wasn't too hard to push this one on. I used some wire pulling lubricant to help get it on there. These ends, I had some rubber vacuum caps laying around from a project years ago, so they fit well on the ends of this to help protect the top. I'll try and push fuel hose around this as well. This one's going to be a little bit harder. Predicting that I'll have to heat that hose up with a torch to get it to slide on. I did sand these bars and paint them, obviously. It was just raw steel. I didn't want, and it was already starting to surface rust. So I sanded them down, and I just had some brownish paint laying around. So I put a couple coats on that, let them dry overnight. I also made some 90s from the bar stock that I had. That's about 5 inches long on each end. And here's the flat piece that's going to go along the back. And then I'll drill all the way through from the 90s through the bar into this to brace everything together. Okay, so next I'm going to try pushing this fuel hose through these bars and see how that goes. So here's how the first one turned out. It went on pretty easy. A little bit of heat with my torch, and I put some wire and cable pulling lubricant on there just to help it a little bit. A little bit of heat, it slid on a lot easier than I thought. Then I cut back the end a little bit so I could put back on my rubber vacuum cap to protect the tip. So I'm going to do the next one. Here's the other one. This one here worked just as easy. Put the vacuum cap on the end. This one was a little big, so I put a bit of Gorilla Glue on it to keep it secure. Next step is to put the bars together, and I'm going to drill and tap everything for the 90s and the flat piece of bar on the back, and then secure it all with some 1/4 by 2 inch machine screws. This is the general idea. I haven't tapped anything yet, but this is just everything lined up with the 90s where I'm going to put them. And then this backing piece, I'm going to push the drill all the way through and put a nut on the backside. Tighten it all together. Here it is all test fitted together. 6 bolts all the way through to the backside. I'm going to loosen these, cut the excess threads off, and put some Loctite on them so they won't back out. It feels really strong. No flex in it really at all. Obviously this would be a lot easier if I knew how to weld, but I don't. This was the next best thing. After I get all these tightened down with Loctite, I'm going to put it up on the top and see how it all fits. So here's everything test fitted on the top. The rear threaded U-bolt was a little too short. If they had these in 9-inch, it would be a lot easier. So I had to put the nut on the inside. The 2 side ones fit fine. I just jam nut it on each side so there's no up and down motion. I'll show you the inside, what it looks like underneath. This would be a lot easier if the top was down, but this is what I got to work with. Here's the back one, just resting on the back of the top, and you can see the inside ones from here. One on that side, one on that side. Next I have to drill the main support. Hopefully I get this right. I've watched a couple other videos for the center of balance on this. Hopefully I can just do it one time. Right now I think I have about 18 inches from the back is what I'm guessing. Yeah, about 18.5 inches from the rear, from this part here. So I'm going to drill that, plug the winch in, pull it up, and hopefully there's no significant tilt one way or another. So I was a little off in my calculations, so I ended up making this little hitch so I could slide it back and forth and figure out the center of gravity. So if you followed my instructions on the length of this pipe and everything, it's 23 3/8 from the very back of this center brace to the center of where you will need your eyelet. You can see it's suspended and it's pretty level right now. Only thing left to do is put some padding around this, and that'll be it. So I got the foam all on. This is a jumbo pool noodle. It's a little snug as far as clearance between the top and the bottom of the pool noodle. So I either may shave a little bit off of this on the bottom side, or you could always get a regular pool noodle or some plumbing copper pipe insulators instead. I did cut a little notch for the hook. The overall width of this, or length and width of this bar, in case anyone wants to know, is 65 inches by 46 inches. So 65 inches across, 46 inches this way, from end to end, both sides. This is for a JL top, so you have to be a bit mindful of the back hook making contact with the spoiler. It's very close, but it's not touching the window or the spoiler, but it's probably 1/16 of an inch away on both sides. In case anyone is wondering, the platform I have for this, my framed platform that I have my hardtop resting on. I made this because I have a dual top. I have a soft top for the summer. This sits half the year. I didn't want it hanging from the top that long. So I framed this little wall so it could support the weight of it. The platform is 4 foot by 69 inches, and it's plenty of room. I have the window case in there, the case for the soft top. In the winter I'll store the soft top bracket and everything else up there as well. So this is it for the hardtop hoist back bracket, or the ridge back bracket, whatever the correct terminology is. Good luck with your DIY project.